Listen!
Good evening and welcome along. Great to have your company. We're coming to you from the Newcastle Entertainment Centre tonight for NBL Mitsubishi Challenge action. And the home team, the Newcastle Falcons, have the job ahead of them tonight because they're facing reigning NBL champions, the Melbourne Tigers, led by Andrew Gaze. The Tigers, their top three shooters are averaging 25 points a game this year, as opposed to the Falcons' 20 points per game. So the Tigers are out shooting them, but the Falcons do have a better defensive record. So which team will be on their game tonight? The Falcons really have the job ahead of them tonight, but it'll be good, won't it?
Oh, it'll be a great game. Any game in which Andrew Gaze plays has really got something going for it, Terry, hasn't it? And of course the Tigers, they are the champions, but they will have been stung by last night's defeat at the hands of the Gold Coast. That came as a shock to everybody, so it'll be interesting to see. They're hurting, I'm sure they'll bounce back, but the Falcons, they've talked it over after a defeat last week. It's going to be a really great contest.
All right, well, let's just have a look at the starting fives here for both teams. For the Falcons, we have Johnson and Derek Rucker, number 5 and 6, the two guards, opposed to Andrew Gaze and Leonard Copeland. Great two guards, and that'll be a fantastic matchup just there. Now we have Kruger and Dozier for the Falcons in the forwards, Simmons and Whitehead for the Tigers, 00 Paul Kuiper in the centre up against the boomer Mark Bradkey, number 50 for the Tigers.
Right, well, what about the benches now? Let's look down to those, and they're quite interesting. Sean Dennis is a three-point bomber, Tony Jensen, McLean Wintervine and Alexander for the Falcons. Now, Warwick Giddy is a workhorse for the Tigers. He'll see plenty of minutes. Gordon, impact player in defence. Walter, Anstey and Tenner round out the Tigers lineup.
Have a look at the crowd, would you? A record crowd here at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre. It's official already. Can't quite see either end behind the backboards, but we got people standing room only tonight. That's a first. Too many tickets sold, basically. Popular game.
People were here very, very early getting the best standing room spots. It's going to be a great contest. It's so important for the Falcons to win. The Melbourne Tigers, well, you just know they'll be there at the end of the season. And this is an important one for the Falcons, so they get away with a great jump ball. But Eddie Crouch says, no, I've got to say there was a violation there. He did win it easily, didn't he? So it goes the way of the Melbourne Tigers.
Okay, so the Tigers get the first turnover of the game, basically. And look at that, Andrew Gaze already into it. An alley-oop of sorts, Dave Simmons to Gaze, who's averaging 33 a game. And already the Tigers are on the scoreboard. If you're good enough to join us for last night's game, look at this. Mike Johnson, a three-pointer. This is a fast-moving game, and both teams' offense is already working beautifully. And the first miss of the night, Leonard Copeland. It doesn't mean much, but boy, what a start.
Yes, superstar Michael Johnson back in the lineup for Newcastle because they have match-up problems if they go without him. So they've got Rucker out there as well playing the guard spots. And we'll see probably Grant Kruger go a little wider tonight than he normally has been, but inside, 00 Paul Kuiper for his first two.
And reaching right over the top of Mark Bradkey too, and there's a loose one. Well, that's a turnover to the Falcons, but yeah, it had already gone out. So, bit of a loose pass there thrown by Stephen Whitehead. Lindsay Gaze just keeping an eye on the action. He won't be too pleased with the Tigers going down last night by 10 points to the Rollers after being up by 21 points at one stage. What a turnaround.
Now they just lost the plot, according to Coach Gaze, and a little bit of trouble with Simmons with a calf muscle injury, but no trouble for Grant Kruger. He gets in there for a 7-2 lead, and it's Newcastle over Melbourne.
We see the Newcastle Falcons already employing that sort of two-man press just to slow the Tigers down as they bring the ball back, because they are such a quick team when it comes to bringing the ball back and converting a basket into some offense. Dave Simmons now underneath Kruger, lovely move. Everybody just stopped and watched him. There's nothing much he can do.
No, straight up 2-3 zone defense there for Newcastle, and they probably didn't rotate down quickly enough. Perhaps Paul Kuiper could have gone down there and picked it up, but who cares, because at the other end Derek Rucker is bombing away with the second three of the night, and it's 10-4 Newcastle over Melbourne.
Well, we see the Melbourne Tigers there just dropping back into their key, with forming three guards really. Stephen Whitehead playing the role of a guard as well as Copeland and Gaze. Now, as they just move it around, plenty of room out there for Whitehead. It'll be long and no trouble with a defensive rebound for Kruger. So Falcons be happy to be 6 up so early in the game after the dreadful start that they made against the Rollers last week. Too short. That's an air ball for Kuiper.
And a timeout's been called by the Melbourne Tigers. They've made a rusty start to the game. After just 3 minutes, it's 10-4. The way of the Foster's Newcastle Falcons.
And so we see Tom Wisman just go into the huddle now. He'll be fairly happy that they haven't had one of those starts where the Melbourne Tigers have just shot the lights out and gone to a 10-0 lead. And they can do that to teams. We'll just see if we can hear what Tom's saying in the huddle there.
That's on this pass. Guard-to-guard pass when you see Andrew coming. And when you see him coming, because Grant's coming to this side of him, go right out there and bump him first. And then don't let him get down there and then play, okay? Get right out and bump him, Grant, and get right to there, okay? So they don't get the pass in the bread. All right.
One of the big guys on the free throw press is probably going to stay up.
Yeah, well, we only got 2 people up on free throw press. Yeah. You got room to go to the middle. Yeah. You're on the middle.
Okay, so obviously the two-man press is a fairly important part of the game because the Tigers really have the ability after a basket to just turn around and get up there, and they're starting to shoot before you're back in your zone.
Exactly. There's Michael Johnson right in the centre of the screen. It's interesting they've gone back to the experience, haven't they?
Yeah.
In this game, Marty McLean slips back to the bench. We'll still see him because he is a fine player getting up and down quickly, and they will need him because if they have an advantage, perhaps it's in the running game, Newcastle, but right now, Mike Johnson, he lights up early. He usually goes on with it, and I think we can expect to see a big game from him. Paul Kuiper and Mark Bradke. Now there is a matchup, and that could well decide the outcome of the game if Kuiper can stay with Bradke.
So the Tigers bring it back, and here they go. You can see the two-man weave at the top of the key there. They're just running in and out. The Falcons not following them at the moment, and Gaze, you just don't let him shoot. He's just so accurate. He rarely misses high offensive shooting. And the Falcons will have to get out on him. So Leonard Copeland and Derek Rucker. Terry Dozier now. There's Dave Simmons on him. Kruger. See Kuiper and Bradke there. And that's just a wayward pass from Grant Kruger. Mike Johnson couldn't quite get into position.
No, he's desperately looking for the back door there on Andrew Gaze, but Gaze had him covered and probably would have been better to hold the pass back and not give it to Johnson under pressure. Oh, crunch time. That was Whitehead really going hard to the basket in singlet number 33. And you don't go in there without striking trouble. As you can see, oh, Grant Kruger copped one too.
Kruger copped one, and there was no call on him because it was Paul Kuiper that did the fouling. So we go to the line for the first time tonight. And it's a miss, but because he was shooting, he gets 2. So Whitehead to make this one count. Well, the Melbourne Tigers shooting 80% from the line this year. That's pretty good. Falcons shooting 77. They're not too bad either. Mike Johnson gets away the shot, and it deserved to go in, really. It did all sorts of things there. It was a great positional move, a great shot. Unfortunately, couldn't make it. Oh, look at that pass. Leonard Copeland to Simmons. And again, the tip-in from Bradke. The Tigers have that potential just to hurt you.
Oh, Bradke there really went after it. I think the offensive boards at both ends have been strong, but they've just got to block him out. Because once he gets in that close, that range, he just will not miss the big boomer centre. Dozier a fadeaway jumper. Oh, all round down. 12-10, Falcons lead. It's with Whitehead going hard to the basket, dish, and Simmons just knocks it down, jams it in there. As we have a look at the replay on that, it swirled around, rained out the bottom there. 12-all now is the scoreline.
So Derek Rucker and the turnover. Andrew Gaze. Now see the Falcons, a little bit more ball security required here. It's a time of the game where the Tigers are not going to let the Falcons get away with a tremendous start that the Rollers got away with last night. And they'll be looking for those turnovers, no doubt. Rucker tries the jumper, it doesn't make it.
Andrew Gaze scoring at a point a minute.
Whitehead with plenty of time for 3. Derek Rucker with a defensive rebound. And so that matchup again, we see Paul Kuiper and Bradke. Terry Dozier looks to no one except himself, and Kruger tried to tap in, but Bradkey was in there as well. Whitehead came away with it. Now Andrew Gay.
Very, very physical on the boards, both these sides. And Newcastle have got to maintain this intensity right to the bitter end. Because if they get walloped on the boards, they will go down. Look at Bradkey, strides away, tries the hook. And there's a foul inside.
Well, Kuiper's the only one that's been doing the fouling for the Falcons tonight. We'll have a look at it here. Gets into position. And, well, Bradkey wasn't stopped from making the shot, but there was contact there.
It certainly was inconvenient. He was pushed away quite clearly on the replay, so he deserves to go to the line, but doesn't make Kuiper pay. It's 14-12 to the Melbourne Tigers over the Newcastle Falcons, and we're midway through the first quarter, and it has been a lively start from both these sides. Andrew Gay is leading the way on the score sheet with 7 points.
Well, just to keep our eye, too, as the night goes on Michael Johnson, because he only requires 1 offensive rebound for 500 in the NBL. That's a milestone for Mike Johnson. And here he is with the ball now. Terry Dozier. Kruger takes the shot. He's been fouled. That'll be on Simmons.
That was technically very good from both Kruger and, you'll see Kruger there, really made a very good lead, had the hand out, and Dozier just found it beautifully. Oh, I think that was probably from the other end when he was playing a bit of defense there, so Kruger bleeding from the nose.
Well, we've seen quite a bit of Grant Kruger bleeding in recent weeks. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there was an incident where he had 5 stitches inserted in a knee on camera.
That's right. He still has the guard around the knee.
Yes, he
so
does.
That we can't see it again. We don't want to see it again. He's going to pull out the mouth guard and
he's
try
been
and wipe
smacked
that
in the mouth
clear.
as well. Hopefully no other moving parts are going to fall out of him. But he certainly gets involved in the game in the physical sense. He's wiped a bit of blood on the shorts, you can see there. And he's going to go to the line. He's not going to miss this.
Okay, it's 15 points to 12. He's got 2 shots. His team's down by just 3. Oh, came up short. Hit the iron. Makes a better fist of the second attempt. And it's 15-13 and a little bit of 3/4 court pressure now. 3 front. Will they try and trap? Just try and slow it down. Kuiper gets back quickly. Well, they get out of trouble and into their regular 1-3-1 zone defense. But Andrew Gaze has got the hot hand. He's into double figures already. We've played 6 minutes. He has 10 points.
Well, the thing with Andrew Gaze is when they gave him the ball and there was nobody hassling him, he had plenty of time to get the shot away, and he just so rarely misses. I mean, that's how he scores his 33 points a game. And he did all the hard work, this Paul Kuiper, didn't go in. Now Andrew Gaze bringing the ball back, doing a lot of work tonight shooting. He's also doing a lot of work bringing the ball back into halfway. Whitehead goes underneath, lovely move. And we've caught some fouls there as well. It's on Mike Johnson. Whitehead will go to the line.
They're really attacking the basket strongly. They get a good result for that. And the timeout is called with the Melbourne Tigers leading the Newcastle Falcons 18-13. 5.5 left in the first quarter.
We've got a 5-point break on the Falcons at the moment, but in light of the loss last night, it's a pretty important game, isn't it?
Oh, very much so. They want to be right up there in that top 4 at the end of the year if they're going to defend the crown. But Andrew's form will have pleased him. He's hardly, I don't think he's missed a shot. He has 10 points in the game. He's taken a couple inside and a couple outside. So very hard to stop, isn't he? What do? Do you get after him, or do you just concede 30 or 40 points and look after the other guys? It's a tough call, but they seem to crack the 1-3-1 zone defense of the Falcons pretty comfortably last time with just 2 passes, which allowed Gaze free, and he only needs a split second, and he's got the shot off on you.
Well, he's the top scorer in the NBL now, over 9,000 points. So none other coaches work out how to stop him.
That's right, and he's the top scorer in 1994 as well.
Well, he's going to hurt you. Damage control, I think, is what's called for. Perhaps that's the way they look at it. Derek Rucker now. Whitehead loses the second shot. So the Tigers 6 points down. That's off the foot of Derek Rucker. And he has a concerned look on his face and feels that was a little unfair.
That might just fire Derek Rucker up. You can see there pretty good defense from Leonard Copeland. That was a very good job, and Rucker, well, he'll be disappointed. No, that'll really hurt him now. So let's see how Rucker can respond, because Copeland Feed in back door there, got it away nicely and gets it out 21-13, the scoreline in the first quarter. So Derek Rucker just doing it a little tough here against Copeland. The blood's pouring again from Grant Kruger in the bottom of his screen. So he's been sent to what I guess we might call the blood bin. Not too happy about it either. So they'll go and try and stop that nosebleed. In the meantime, Tony Jensen comes in. So this changes the complexion now. A big man out of the side and Tony Jensen at guard coming in. So we'll check some matchups here. Michael Johnson, Andrew Gaze, Bradkin Kuiper, of course. Simmons and Terry Dozier. And that will leave Tony Jensen and Stephen Whitehead. Not a bad matchup. Those two guys will go at it. And there he is trying to stop it. Get a bit of cotton wool up there, Grant.
We've spent a lot of time looking at Grant Kruger bleeding, haven't we, in the past? But that one doesn't seem too serious. Terry Dozier, an incredulous look on his face at the contact. No call. Leonard Copeland and goaltending called, so the points will count. Leonard Copeland just doing it at all ends of the court tonight. It's really a couple of dominant players, Andrew Gaze and Leonard Copeland out there at the moment, aren't they?
Absolutely, and they are doing the good job. And in fact, the Falcons look a little disoriented here. You can see just under 5 minutes to go until quarter time. They just don't seem comfortable out there right now, the Falcons. They need to score a couple and maybe Rucker can light them up. He gets it as far as Johnson. Fade away jumper won't go. And Simmons gets it off. Stand by, buckle up. Here goes Copeland. Double-handed, double-fisted jam.
Leonard Copeland.
Well, we enjoyed it, Terry, but the crowd was a bit cold on it. And Tom Wisman didn't fancy it either because he's gone for the timeout. Up and over, Leonard.
Well, the Tigers hurting the Falcons. You can hear Tom Wisman saying, what's happened to us? Let's have a listen.
Waiting about 5 minutes here. 12-10 lead, and they got us now 15-1, God damn it. Now let's get into this ball game right now. On the offensive end, our execution falls right down, and we're giving them the break right every time. We got to get back defensive transition from our offense, but let's get an offensive execution. Okay, let's go Chicago. Let's go Chicago. Terry's. No, we're Terry's inside now. Okay, let's go. Let's go with fist two for Michael. Go Terry side.
There is Tom Wisman now trying to work out some plays, but it's fairly tense going in there with a camera and a microphone when Tom's unhappy, but I thought he showed reasonable control there and rammed it home to his players that they are looking a little bit out of touch, aren't they? 25-13 down. This next 4.5 minutes is crucial. They need to get back into it. The Gold Coast managed to do it from a similar position last night, so perhaps we'll see the Falcons turn this around, but they just need to hit a couple of shots and get the confidence rolling again.
Well, there's no doubt about it. When you're being outscored 15-1, something's not right, and it was the offensive execution that was, as well as the lack of defensive transition, as he called it, just letting the Tigers get that fast break.
Exactly, yeah. The last two times down the court, they've been off and running, 2 layups. To Copeland as well. In fact, he scored the last 6 points, Copeland, putting on a show as Rucker goes inside, and this time the foul is called. And we'll see Derek Rucker go to the line as Grant Kruger still attempts to stem the tide as the blood flows from the old snoz.
Derek Rucker, the double pump, couldn't quite make it. A little bit upset with himself too. But still fairly early days. There's still 4 minutes left in this quarter, but apart from that, it's fairly early days.
Hang on, we think
Eddie Crouch, I think, is just looking at the alignment of the backboard. There's been a fair bit of heavy work on the boards, and I don't think... you can see him looking at the baseline, and he's saying that it's a bit skew-whiff. It needs to be tilted, so we're calling for some guys to come and work on this here. So a bit of a pregnant pause at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre.
Let's get in there and clean this one up. I wonder whether that thing's shack-proof.
Well,
or Kuiper-proof, but I'll tell you something about Paul Kuiper. He has started out fairly well. He's been on the burgers all day. McHappy Day tied him up for an hour or two. I don't know how many Big Macs he knocked down, but he's looking pretty fit, actually. Probably as fit as we've seen him for a couple of years, and he's called on to play some big minutes with a couple of Big Macs under his belt tonight.
Derek Rucker makes one. He's averaging 27 a game. Second only on the floor tonight to Andrew Gaze, who's averaging 33. But Gaze has got the jump on him so far. Gaze is doing the scoring. Rucker's just been tied down a little bit by Copeland.
Well, we've see the Tigers go into offense, and the Falcons looking pretty desperate out there now. Can Copeland, can he settle them down? Hits it, 28-15, beautiful shot. One thing that you can observe here, though, is that these guys are on the back end of a road trip. They could get a little tired later, and there have been no substitutions, no changes at all from the Tigers. 4 minutes out from quarter time, so they're playing a lot of the early minutes with the starters here. As long as they can keep the nose in front, they'll see the game out, but should it become close at the finish... Oh, look at that. What a great jam. Put back jam. Woo. Terry Dozier gets the crowd involved, and that could be a turning point. If they get away with this game, remember this play.
This is one of the year's highlights so far as the Newcastle Entertainment Centre. The rebound and the double-handed jam. Look at that. Only a champion can do that against a team like the Melbourne Tigers. He's going to convert this to 3. That's the hope. But it's not the reality. So the Falcons, again, not really through their own fault, but it's just one of those things that's just not working for them.
Is he going to give them another shot? I think he may. There seems to be some problem here. I think he's going to give them another go at it. Yes, there was a violation, as I understand it. Or maybe it was crooked. Give him another one.
They're still talking about the alignment of the backboard and going to give him one for that. But let me remind you guys, the ring is round, and it looks round from whichever way you approach it. And I don't think you're going to get another one for that, eh?
No, I thought Eddie was going to give him one. There would have been uproar in the Tiger camp, but it's 28-17, and Melbourne leads by 11.
So here it is. Whitehead now finds Bradkey, and Dozier's on him. Bradkey and Dozier are shooting exactly the same figures this year.
Well, Alexander's into the game in singlet number 20 and attracts the wrath of the referee there. As he comes off the screen, he was really clobbered by Mark Bradkey. It looked to be a fair play, but may have been a foul in there. It obviously was, because it goes against the Falcons.
So Whitehead now has Bradkey, who just stops Johnson. He finds Andrew Gaze, and Tony Jensen on him. They're keeping their distance, allowing Andrew the... Here's Leonard Copeland, whose personal ambition is to make the NBA, and you can see he's got everything it requires.
He just attacked that zone right at the seams and just found a gap that really opened up for him.
So the Melbourne Tigers just doing it so nicely, 30-17. This, as you've already seen, is not pleasing Tom Wisman. So that won't count. Eddie Crouch has pulled it up. And he's got Matty Alexander in offensive position, a blocking foul. Costly turnover.
Yes, and 2 fouls in 2 minutes for Alexander. And look at what Rucker did to this. He buried it. But it doesn't count. It looked great. The charge call goes up from the Falcons bench, but there's no response. It's just 2 more points, and they've almost doubled the score of the Falcons. It's the Tigers 32, Falcons 17. 2.5 out from quarter time.
Well, the Melbourne Tigers are in the top 3 shooting teams in terms of just sheer points in the NBL. Now, the Falcons knew they were going to shoot. They knew it was going to be tough. Matty Alexander with the rebound, and there's just a no call. And Matty Alexander just gritting his teeth there. I must admit, we were a little bit blinded. So let's just have a look at what happens here.
Tremendous effort just to get that ball to fake, and good clean hands, wasn't it, from
pretty good
Mark Bradkey.
Lovely D. Mike Johnson now comes outside. Derek Rucker. Johnson screens, but Leonard Copeland gets in between them. Derek Rucker tries to get around Andrew Gaze. It'll be short. Gaze gets the rebound.
Well, they're playing some very good defense here, the Melbourne Tigers, making it difficult for the Falcons to get a shot away even from the perimeter. Try to penetrate, and they crawl all over you, so I've got to say Melbourne is playing this game very, very well. Good hands that time from Rucker. Here's the big fellow Bradkey. Strong backdoor cut goes low, and brilliant stuff from Stephen Whitehead. Just beat them all ends up. Too much speed at the back. That was clever play, and there it is. They have doubled the score. They've been twice as good in this quarter.
Johnson for 3. Well, the Tigers now are shooting the Falcons without answer. The Falcons not troubling the scorer, but Terry Dozier now with the foul goes to the line. He'll be shooting 2. Let's have a look here. He comes straight at Bradkey. and who stands his ground, but Gaze gets a hand in there. And so that's Gaze's first foul for the night. Marty McLean's on as Mike Johnson sits down. And Marty McLean has been getting some good minutes for the Falcons, especially in the defence, has really been putting in some rough work. And the points count.
What about Lindsay Gaze? He's just going with his 5 guys. They're doing everything right. And he's not worried about whether they run out of gas at the end. If they can set up a big enough break to win a Melbourne Cup, that will suit him. It's a bold front-running display for the Melbourne Tigers.
Yes, it can be a long night on the bench if you're with the Tigers side that's playing like this. They're doing it great in offence and great in defence. Tremendous all-round skills.
And Terry and the bench wouldn't. And there drops just with a minute left in the first quarter. They need just into the game. Oh, look at this man, Tony Jensen inside, but over the back. Simmons rejects, rebounds, and gets it off on the fly. To Copeland, Gaze. Here they go, the excitement machine. Down it goes Copeland. 2 good Tigers.
Well, what a tremendous passage of play. Just 30 seconds left now in the quarter, and the Falcons trying the fancy stuff, and it's just not working. The Tigers try it and it works. Just one of those things. And look at that, Tony Jensen, the 3-pointer. He hits the scoreboard tonight. So the Falcons are trying to put it together, and that'll please Tom Wisman getting into quarter time. It's 36-22.
They really needed that. Now they need to put a good stop on here if they can. 12 seconds left. There's no 30-second clock. As you can see, it's counting down on screen. This is to the end of the first quarter. It's all Tigers with a chance now. There you go, Derek. It's going to be a photo finish. And it's the Falcons by a nostril.
Did you see Derek Rucker looking at the clock as he was doing the layup? He started really putting on the quicks. He was actually watching the scoreboard to see how the time. Look at him looking up at the clock. Look at him. 2 seconds, 1 second. He goes for it. He knows he's there, but it was pretty close.
It was a fabulous basket, and it brings them right back into touch. It's the Melbourne Tigers 36, Falcons 24. The first quarter was great. We'll be back shortly.
36-24 now as we see Simmons and Dozier jump, and just we've been blessed to see the Tigers shoot the lights out tonight. How are they going percentage-wise, Greg?
Oh, it's been a spectacular start for the Tigers. They're shooting from the floor at 75%. They've taken 20 shots. They've only missed 5. While the Falcons, the good news for them is that they've shot 38%, which is poor, but they're only 12 points down. And it was a great 3-pointer right at the finish from Tony Jensen, backed up by the miracle layup from Rucker. And here he is again. Oh, that's brilliant stuff. Just took the check and made it. So they've scored the last 7 points, and it's got them right back into the game. 36-26, but that percentage will improve from the Falcons, I feel sure. So this game is a long way from over, even though they have a very handy break, the Tigers, and still no changes to the Tigers lineup. He is persisting with his leading 5, whereas Tom Wisman's resting some of his gun players. Poor pass, and I think it's going to be a pretty tough contest right through the night, even though the Falcons are a little behind the 8 ball early.
Well, there's no way the Falcons will think that the Tigers are going to ease off, even if they get a 20-point lead, because last night they had such a lead against the Rollers and lost the game by 10 points. So the Tigers are not going to let up tonight. They're shooting hot. They're going to continue that way. The Falcons just have to match them. Tony Jensen gets the rebound, the layup. He did well to get it there. Matty Alexander gets it, and he makes it.
Oh, boy, that was really tough, wasn't it, from the Falcons? Jensen went after it. Matt Alexander, too. They were all getting after that offensive board. Big play, the Falcons.
And Lindsay Gay is showing that when your team's hot, you don't fix it if it ain't broken. Same 5. They've played the full 12 minutes of the first quarter.
Expect changes shortly as the Falcons come charging. Jensen!
What a great play. Did you see that fake assist to Terry Dozier? And then he just, watch this, he pretends...
Switches hands. Gets it up on the left hand beautifully. A clever basket, and the crowd's now getting excited. 36-30.
It's only 6 points, and that changes it. Bradkey, see that pointing, looking for the 3 seconds. Bradkey was standing there a while. It's gone now. Bradkey gets the dunk. It's 8 points now, 38-30. I guess this will be pleasing Tom Wisman a little more.
Well, Terry, it was 17 at one stage, wasn't it? It was 34-17. Oh, look at this man go now. He lights up. He fires Derek Rucker. He's an excitement machine, isn't he, when he gets going?
Tremendous stuff. Derek Rucker, the MVP in the NBL in 1990, playing with the Brisbane Bullets at the time. And playing against the Melbourne Tigers, who still look pretty good this year, even without Sibley, who coincidentally has gone to Brisbane. The defending champions, and away they go. Bradkey now. Underneath the Whitehead. The defence gets there and does a good job. Gaze fakes inside. Jensen jumps for two.
Just too good, Andrew Gaze, but Leonard Copeland after that pretty poor... Oh, Bradkey sorts Marty McLean out, but after that pretty poor attempt really at holding Derek Rucker, he's getting a break, and we see the first substitution for the Tigers now, and it is a man we'd expect to come in this situation, Ray Gordon, and you watch him try and stir Derek Rucker up. He'll get right on his case, get right after him, and the first play, the foul is called against him. So there you go. Or is it Andrew Gaze, number 10?
I think that was on Andrew Gaze. Yes, it was, and he wasn't very happy about it. In fact, Andrew Gaze had a few things to say to senior referee Eddie Crouch about that call, who didn't make that call, incidentally. I think his point was, come on, mate, take over from the young bloke. But it's sufficient chip over now, isn't it? 2 fouls for Andrew Gaze, and a couple of points for Rucker too. It's 40-34. Lindsay just watching there, not too concerned.
There's Ray Gordon with the ball now. It'll be interesting to see how he matches up on Rucker, because he's a sort of player. Sydney has Tim Morrissey and the Tigers have Ray Gordon, who are going to really stir you up. Big steal. Here they come now. Should score here, Jensen. I tried to make it a little too hard, but he was certainly intimidated. They really went after him. At the other end, the ball flies out of court, and the foul is called.
That's on Marty McLean. Tony Jensen a little bit disappointed with himself too after that basket and the other end, and Tom Wisman just motioning to him, why didn't you take your time? And I guess he feels that Tony Jensen went to the basket, just tried the difficult shot.
Yeah, it was just intimidated. Sheer intimidation from 2 Tigers running at him. Full steam. He would have been buried. And he thought, well, maybe if I go underneath, I've got a better chance of making the shot. But it's all history now.
Some good sideline coaching anyway from Wisman, because he wasn't having a go at him. He was just saying, come on, you're doing great, take your time. Don't be overawed by these guys. And it's the sort of thing that can happen, I guess, when you're playing the champions. You know you've got to come out with a big one. Big capacity crowd, record crowd for Newcastle. Derek Rucker.
Oh, yes!
He's not overawed. He's over the top of them. There it is, the lift from Terry Dozier. And at the other end, Gordon is being told by Andrew Gaze what to do.
Well, just too slick, too many moves, and Ray Gordon was just completely outclassed on that occasion. Just couldn't go with Rucker. Did his best, though, didn't he, to try and drag him back down, and Rucker can't make the third point. But 42-36 is pretty respectable after they were down by 17 at one stage, the Falcons.
8:30 left in the game. Now Bradkey finds Dozier, opted. Oh, look at this, so much time. See, that's how Andrew Gaze hurts you. You give him the ball, he doesn't need much room. Up 2 or 3 feet, and bang, he's away. Look at that. Tremendous stuff.
Good no call and down. The Tigers may complain that there was a charge, but it was a good no call. Dozier had the position. Turnaround jumper, 45-38 scoreline. Andrew Gaze is really playing well. 3 threes he's knocked down so far. We could see another one very shortly. He decides to take Jensen onto the baseline and makes another one. Andrew Gaze putting on a brilliant display.
But he's certainly hot, there's no doubt about it. 33 points a game, and he's well on track to equal or better that. Getting a little bit more serious for the Falcons. 9-point deficit now, so they take the timeout here at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre. We'll take timeout and be back in just a tick. 47-38. Lindsay Gaze, the furrowed brow, just telling his guys just to hang on. Don't push it. Down the other end, Tom Wisman in his huddle saying much the same thing. The message is the same, although the Tigers are up by 9 at this stage. 7:40 left in the half. There's Andrew Gaze there in the foreground. You can see the back of him sitting next to Gordon. The record crowd here at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre being treated to a fine exhibition of basketball.
Andrew Gaze, 17 points for the game. He really is hurting the Falcons. 17 of the 47 points. But they've done well to hang in, Newcastle. Here's Tom Wisman. Let's see whether we can pick up what he's got to say.
Want me coming to Gordon or what?
Yeah, come to him. We're pushing the man. Yeah, okay.
Right. So no panic stations yet for the Falcons. We see Grant Kruger coming back into the game. He's had a little bit of bleeding of the nose, a little bit around the gums. Took a really heavy knock in defence and did some tough work. And it's no coincidence, I suppose, that after he went off, the Falcons just suffered a little bit, didn't they?
Yes. But now he has the rubber hose up his nose, and I'm sure he'll be ready to get out there and get after it again. Andrew Gay's 18 points now.
And so Derek Rucker brings the ball back, and Gordon's after him. Gordon has just reached the milestone of 500 fouls with the Tigers. He won't be too happy me pointing that out, but it is a milestone. Kruger, Tony Jensen now. What have we got going on here? Eddie Crouch has just pulled it up. He's found something in the background. I think he's picked up Gordon on Rucker.
Ray Gordon trying to hang on to Derek Rucker, and who can blame him? 48-38.
501 fouls, sorry. Well, the Falcons lucky to keep that one. There was some hands in there. It was nearly the turnover. But Dozier took it, the one-handed looping. 7 minutes out, and it's 48-40. The Falcons just trying to get back into this game after being a little bit shell-shocked early. Gordon now takes the step away to Andrew Gaze, who has Jensen on him. And the alley-oop, Dave Simmons.
Trademark Tigers.
Well, we're used to seeing Gaze and Copeland do this. Simmons says, hey, anything he can do. Look at this. Bang.
Oh, sensational.
Great assist, Andrew Gaze.
Oh, gets the back door.
And so the Falcons, at least trading shot for shot now. The Tigers still looking pretty impressive. And there's the substitution. Whitehead's off.
Giddy's on, the workhorse. Really goes in defence, this guy. He'll try and really stem the tide, the flow of points coming from the Falcons, because they are continuing to hang on in there. Match-up zone here. You'll see Tony Jensen is trying to dog Andrew Gaze, and they've got a triangle at the back.
Yes, well, Giddy now will really start to make his mark. I mean, if there's no substitutions in a whole first quarter, when you finally get a chance, you're going to make your mark. Gaze, plenty of time. Can't make that one. Derek Rucker now will just slow things down a little bit. Here's Alexander. He stops for the three-pointer. Bradkey comes away with it. Derek Rucker's fouled Bradkey.
Had to do it too, because they were off for another easy two. It was a worthwhile foul from Rucker. To see, looking to go down court there. And they really had to hold that play up, which they did. Take some of the sting out of the Tigers' tail for a moment. Anyway, 6 minutes left now in the first half. And it's the Melbourne Tigers 50 leading the Newcastle Falcons 42. The matchup continues as Jensen chases Andrew Gaze all over the floor. He'll cover some territory tonight.
Well, I guess those fouls don't bother you when you've only got, say, 2 or 3 team fouls, so it's worthwhile, as you said. And Bradkey, just a very strong move to turn and shoot, and it's just in all the way. And so it's back out to 10.
Well, Bradkey's going to the World Championships with the Boomers in August over in Canada. They sure do need him, and they need him in this sort of form. There he is again. What a great rebound. He had them all over him, but he was still too strong.
Yes, tremendous rebound. The Tigers actually...
Oh, give me a break, Andrew. And it's no score. He reckons it's worth 2. I reckon it's worth 4. Look at this spin move on them. And away he goes, and he did travel too, so it was a good call. But, gee, it looked good.
It was worth it. Makes a good replay anyway.
I'd have given him 2.
Yeah, why not? We can't award points for style, unfortunately. So, there's a blocking foul in offence.
It'll be against Terry Dozier, the illegal screen. He's getting a little bit too physical on the back kick there, as I think it was Matt Alexander trying to come round and Dozier the foul. So Derek Rucker's being rested. No, he's not. Tony Jensen is. And Mike Johnson's back into the game. Bite your tongue. They'll never rest Derek Rucker.
That's true. So Tom Wisman just calling the plays from the sideline. Just asking the Falcons to just man up a little bit here. That's a fairly wayward shot, but the strong rebound. Look at this. The Tigers are out-rebounding the Falcons. It's the same in defense. Just out-rebounding them in total rebounds, though, and in offensive rebounds. So the Falcons really have to get on the boards.
There's plenty of effort from the Falcons at the offensive end, certainly. As you'll see here, they come up with it. But Bradkey's just really firing. He's hard to hold. Here's Terry Dozier, left hand, tried the little layup, didn't go. No call. Gaze and Rucker, and you'd back Gaze every time in that situation.
Yes, there's no value in fouling Gaze when he's heading for the line. If he's going to score 2, you might as well leave it at 2 and not try and make it 3. And interestingly, though, Andrew Gaze plays much the same way when someone's attacking him for a basket. You stand there and wave and carry on, but no point giving someone who shoots as hot as that a foul on the way to the basket, because they're probably still going to put it in.
So here's Derek Rucker now against Ray Gordon.
Derek Rucker looking for 34 points tonight to reach 2,000 in the NBL. And I think Gordon's picked up another foul. Is that right, or is it on Andrew Gaze? So just have a look at the... no, it's on Andrew Gaze, and he's got 3. This is becoming serious.
He's quite puzzled, too, as we have a look at the replay. Would have been 2 points, I feel sure, if it had been allowed to continue.
Gee, I could see a foul there on Terry Dozier, but I must admit I didn't see the other one. It doesn't mean it didn't happen. I just wasn't watching it.
Now, Paul Kuiper's back into the game to try and keep Bradkey in check, because Bradkey's been running amok in the middle. So now it's up to big 0-0. Come in and see what he can do. Copeland also back to try and look after Dozier. The time he got the shot away, and Mike Johnson comes around with it now. Dozier's open. He'll take the shot. Open jumper should go down. Does.
Well, Paul Kuiper's on to obviously pick up those rebounds on the boards. The Falcons have been doing all right, but the Tigers are hassling the Falcons in the zone. Some pretty tough offense going on from the Tigers. Inside, Giddy gets around Dozier. 58-44 now, so just stretching that lead to 14 points. 3 minutes out.
Sort of guy every coach would love to have on the team, isn't he? Giddy just does the hard work, and he'll get in there and give you 10 points every night. Go, and he won't miss those shots. He'll take the check, put it away for you. Great blue-collar worker. Down it goes. Fine shot from Paul Kuiper. So they're keeping us interested here, the Falcons. It's 58-46. Let's take another look at that. Gets right up there. Swish. Great shot. Fading away for Paul Kuiper.
So Giddy now. Leonard Copeland. He takes the shot. Doesn't quite make it. Derek Rucker comes quickly away with it. He's going to go right to the bucket. Finger rolls. Tremendous stuff from the small guy. 27 points a game.
Well, he looked up, didn't he? And he saw big Mark Bradkey. Have a look at this. And he says, "Oh, Mark, you're going backwards and I'm going to the hole. I'll see you later." He gave him a cold as he brushed by. Okay. Down low, Copeland. Brilliant stuff. Derek Rucker tried to get the hand in his face, but Copeland just too quick, and it's out to 12 points again. Oh, great ball from Rucker. And put back with a little bit of spin, wasn't it? It had that Shane Warne touch from Paul Kuiper.
Yes, it did. He spun it and it rolled in. 90 seconds left in it. Giddy finds Gaze. Tries to find time for the shot, and Mike Johnson just got out on him. Comes around for 2.
Well, they can't seem to make any inroads into this 10 or 12 point lead, can they? It's very difficult. The Tigers are playing just so well, the Falcons equally well, but their poor starters haunting them a little. They did trail by 17, and the crucial last minute in the first half. The countdown underway. Dozier, a little fake. Oh, tough shot. Makes it. 62-52. They look up. They find Bradkey. Copeland. No score, but a charge is called against Copeland. That's a big play.
We're under a minute now. Leonard Copeland didn't like that. I don't suppose you'd expect him to like it.
No, they're up on the bench.
Yeah, but Well, the Falcons now get the chance to come away. This is interesting because it's only 10 points now with 50 seconds left. It was only 14 30 seconds of game time ago, roughly. The Falcons, and there we are, we're on the line. Giddy's fouled Kruger. With 44 seconds left, the Falcons will have the clock stopped and will go to the line for 2. And after being up by 14 a minute out or a minute and a half out, look, it might be 8 or even less.
Let's see what Grant Kruger can do. Really is maturing as a player, Grant Kruger, now. Opportunism there. Can he? Oh, can't make it. Hits the front of the iron.
I can tell you about Grant Kruger as well. Very soon on Sunday Basketball, he will be featured. And he is going to do something very interesting on national television. I shall say nothing, but it's something you wouldn't want to miss. Tonight, we're going to enjoy seeing him shoot some points, and he got one there. It's a 9-point break to the Tigers.
See what they can do this time. Back in their zone, they go underneath. See, they're finding gaps down low, and that's where the gaps are. In this zone, and they're playing it to a nicety. They've obviously scouted the Falcons very, very well, and they're going to the weaknesses in their zone defense whenever they put it on.
Played them only a month or so ago and beat them by 4 points. So with 17 seconds, 15 seconds now, the Falcons get the chance. Will they go for 3 or will they try for the 2? Derek Rucker. Mike Johnson will take the 3. 5 seconds left.
Still time for another score.
Gaze will shoot now. No, Copeland will for 3. Is it going to go in? Well, that would have been a tremendous finish to the half. But the Tigers have done well. They got away to a great 17-point lead in the first quarter. The Falcons recovered, but they haven't actually eaten into that. Still, 10, 12-point lead. So there it is at half-time. We'll review some stats. They're very interesting too. Come back and join us for them. 64-53 at half-time. See the guys in the huddle there, ready for second half action, but it's been a blazing first half, especially from the Tigers.
It sure has. Look at that field percentage. 69% from the field is just extraordinary, and I don't think the Falcons have been that soft. So we can expect that to come back a little, which gives the Falcons hope at 48%. Free throws, nothing in it. 3-pointers, well, they've shot those well, haven't they? And the rebounding, well, the Falcons out rebounding the Tigers. Hasn't been much in the turnovers either, but it's just that shooting percentage has given them the 64-53 lead.
Analytically, if you look at it, the Falcons are averaging 47 from the field this year. Tonight they're at 48, so they're actually up on their year's average. Now the Tigers average 49, and they're doing 69. That's why they're winning. Tremendous. Have a look at this.
One of the reasons is Derek Rucker. As he gets away on the Townsville Suns here, he's been doing this tonight too.
Sean Dennis here taking the bucket. It just shows you the sort of stuff the Falcons can do when they're on their game. However, tonight, up against the Melbourne Tigers, the Falcons have been shut out a little bit, and there haven't been too many fast breaks that they could take.
Andrew Gaze played well, hasn't he? 24 points.
Yeah, he's in for a big night. And incidentally, Derek Rucker, we were saying earlier, needs 34 points tonight to get 2,000. He's exactly halfway. He has 17.
Well, back him to do it. I think he's a very good chance, because I think they may be just a little weary toward the finish here, the Melbourne Tigers, and that could allow Rucker to get off on them, and perhaps 17 points is not beyond him. But here we go. It's 64-53. Going to be a big finish. And we're now into the third quarter of action, in a pivotal third quarter for the Falcons season.
Derek Rucker now gets proceedings going, and well, there's one foul down. It'll be a side ball for the Falcons. Those fouls will be important probably later in the game. We have Gaze already on 3 fouls. Gordon, Copeland and Simmons on 2 for the Tigers. Alexander and Kuiper have 2 for the Falcons, but no real trouble other than that. Kruger. Nicely done. That's a strong move, and the Falcons definitely want to be the first scorers after half-time. Back to 9 points. Copeland now had a strong game, as has Bradkey. Simmons, big move. See, too many options. Look at that. I mean, everybody on that court. This is the starting 5 again. Everybody is a potential threat.
Grant Kruger's defense there a moment ago, and Andrew Gaze forcing him to turn away from the basket. You can take a shot away from Andrew Gaze, you know you've done well. Derek Rucker trying to manoeuvre for a shot. Looks for the dish, double teamed. Gets it away. There must be a free man, but he can't hit it. Didn't really look likely from Terry Dozier. A shot he normally make.
And Andrew Gaze just looking for Leonard Copeland, but luckily Derek Rucker was on him on that occasion. They are always looking for something to happen under the basket. Very strong baseline team. Kuiper now with the rebound, and the Falcons really need to start dominating the boards if they're to get back into this game. 66-55 at the moment. They can do it. Falcons have been a strong side in the past there.
Here's Kruger, the little turnaround, can't go. Calls for the foul, but Kruger, last time down the court, picked up Andrew Gaze, and he's going to do it again. So here's an unusual assignment for a big man trying to hold Andrew Gaze, and perhaps hoping that his size, weight and hustle can keep Gaze in check. Let's see how he goes here. Really put under pressure. The big ask from coach Tom Wiseman and the assistant coach Dave Ankert. He has decided to give Grant Kruger the job of taking on Andrew Gaze. And look at the big man go. And there's the foul. They say it's soft and a little bit ordinary because the Falcons are backing Kruger in.
But that's his first foul of the night. You see, having sat down because of the bleeding nose, he hadn't picked up any fouls. He's just the man to get on Andrew Gaze. No one's going to really shut him down, but he'll quieten him. He's already made him turn away from the basket. At least you can make him pass it instead of shoot. There's always a chance if he can do that.
He's rotated right away there and helped defense. Went down with Bradkey and it allowed Gaze free. So, well, the man furthest away from the ball was Andrew Gaze, and he did what the team defense tells you. Kruger went down with the centre, went down with Bradkey, leaving the man furthest away from the ball open. It was Gaze. Leave him open, you're in trouble.
Terry Dozie now baseline comes out for Kruger, who then shoots the pass. We've got some fouls going on there too. That's on Bradkey. 68-55. And Bradkey, that's his first of the evening. So the Falcons looking for some offensive options, but the Tigers manning up fairly well at this stage. And Mike Johnson is Andrew Gaze, and Leonard Copeland doing a pretty good job on Derek Rucker. Derek Rucker's with lovely assist, and just, well, it's not an assist now, it was a pass. Reserved a bucket. Andrew Gaze comes in for 2. We get the feeling he was stopping for 3, but it was only 2.
You just can't stop Andrew Gaze on the break. It's his specialty, that pull-up jumper. And he knocks it down 8 times out of 10, and you cannot stop it because he's got the momentum. You're heading backwards, just trying to cover him, and he just pulls straight up. And it is just a shot that is impossible to stop, and he does it to a T. Almost perfection. And right now, the Falcons are out of luck.
Yes, the Tigers are starting to outscore them again. 70-55, Copeland, and this is just too good. It's a 3-pointer. Tony Jensen's on now. And I think that'll be for Grant Kruger, who sits down again. So he tried, it didn't quite work. Just have a look here, Andrew Gaze. You see, there's no one out there. Derek Rucker does get out there, but really, all eyes are on Andrew Gaze. He just makes the assist so easy. Such a good option. 73-55.
Well, we said at half-time they couldn't shoot any better than 69%, but they're doing it, don't worry. Dozier, they can't make a shot at the other end, and they're not bad shots. They just won't drop. A little bit of pressure. And it's just throwing them off their game, off the scent. Can't find the hoop, and it's costing dearly, whereas at the other end, for the most part, they're making everything, the Tigers. A rare miss gives Rucker a chance. They need to be out in the open court. That's where they can score. Get into this half-court slog, finding it a little bit difficult.
It must be so frustrating for the Falcons, knowing that they have the firepower to at least match it most of the way with the Tigers. But see, this is just not working. Fast break. It didn't quite work for Whitehead. And I think that'll be, Tigers ball. Mike Johnson just stopping Whitehead from getting to it. But he got a hand on it nevertheless. Tigers ball in through Gaze now. See, you can always get a shot away, but people rarely have the offensive power. There it is, the turnover. And Tony Jensen finds Johnson for the assist, and it's in. Yes, well, that's a lot better. 73-57, they forced the turnover, and the Tigers have been good at that. I mean, the Tigers can always get the shot away, but their offensive percentages are so good tonight. You know, they're going to hurt you, aren't they?
Well, how do you do that, Leonard? An amazing basket. Simply incredible. You can hear a pin drop here. They don't get too excited.
That is
the Newcastle supporters when they see something like that.
Is just simply a great move. I mean, only a champion can play that sort of game. He spun and looped, and look, it was just tremendous.
Weaved his way through. It was the National Tennis Centre that have been up off their seats, but right here, With the team down by, they're a long way down now, 18 points.
Yes, well, the Tigers have been stung into action tonight. A surprise loss, some would say, to the Gold Coast Rollers, although the Rollers certainly have the firepower to match it with the Tigers as well. But I don't think many people expected the Rollers to come out and hand them the sort of thumping from behind that they did last night after being down 20 points. Well, some pretty heavy stuff from Marty McLean under the bucket too. He'll get a couple of shots. It's 76-57. Still plenty of time, though. 7 minutes left in the third quarter.
Steve Bignell to the rescue there. I don't think Eddie Crouch was calling anything. And Steve Bignell from the top went down and made the call. It was a good call too because they hit him with everything, Marty McLean.
Yeah, Eddie was just enjoying the game like us, I guess, wasn't he?
McLean's missed them both. Well, they've got to start finding the bucket, and they've got to start finding it right now. The Falcons need some shooting touch because if they don't, they will be swamped. They'll be run over because the Tigers are on a roll. The runaway tram from Melbourne.
Defending NBL champions, showing the sort of form that took them all the way last year.
I think they're still missing Robert Slipley, but they're doing a good job here nevertheless. Have to make some more adjustments, but they will be tough at the finish. No one likes that. It looked pretty clear.
No one knows. Not one referee can tell which way it went out. I think the crowd knew, though, or they thought they knew anyway.
On replay, it looked a little hard to tell. It looked as though it did come off Andrew Gay's thigh. I think that was the call, but it didn't go their way. Touch and go, but for mine it could easily have been a Falcons ball. Tony Jensen does a good job getting all over Gaze, who's forced to push back to the top in Copeland. So they man up now. Straight matchups.
And Andrew Gaze asking for it to go to the centre, and he's finally there. And they finally make it. But Tom Wisman, you can see just at the bottom of your screen there a minute ago, not happy at all about what he thought was a travel. Derek Rucker now trying to reply. It's a 21-point break, 78-57. The Falcons being outshot, and there's some fouls. Derek Rucker was shooting too.
Only 4 points in 6 minutes, not enough to win a ball game, is it? Simple as that. Got to put the ball in the hole in basketball, and they just cannot do it. Have a timeout to talk this one over. There's the, I wouldn't say demoralised, but he's certainly not on very good terms with himself, Derek Rucker, heading off. So 6 minutes into the third term, there's your scoreline. Tigers 78, really sticking it to the Falcons 57.
Falcons, who shoot 47 from the field this year, and are shooting about that 47-48 tonight, have struck an informed Tigers outfit who normally shoot around 49% and are doing about 70.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? They really are shooting the Newcastle lights right out. Here's Derek Rucker now. For mine, they've got to cut this to a single-figure deficit by three-quarter time. So you can see they're down by 20 at 78-58. I reckon they've got to cut that to 10. Have any hope at all of pegging the Tigers back in the final term. So the first thing they do is go right up in full court, and the first thing Andrew Gaze does is beat the trap and draw a foul. Tony Jensen, but no trouble. They won't go to the line. They've got a couple of fouls up their sleeve so they can afford this full court pressure without sending people like Andrew Gaze who can really burn you from the line to the line. So a lot of high-pressure defence required now. That's the tactic. Let's see whether they can pull something off here.
I can tell you, though, if the Tigers lose this one, Lindsay Gaze will be insufferable company come Monday morning. They wouldn't be happy about losing a game they led by 22 nights in a row.
No, well, they're up by 21 points now. The Melbourne Tigers, the defending champions. There's Tony Jensen, goes right in to two of the biggest, meanest, toughest, I was going to say ugliest, but I better be kind to them after all. Mark Radke did catch Nicole Probus, which wasn't a bad effort. And pretty tough, though, in there when you come up against Simmons and Radke.
Yes, so Tony Jensen, I thought he was going to take the three and saw what he thought looked like an opening, but it was quickly shut, although he was in the right, as evidenced by the fact that he's on the line now. And he's made this one, and no wonder he leads the NBL in percentages from the line. He's doing 96%. Oh, he's
Rare miss. Put the mocker on.
That is a very, very rare miss for Tony Jensen.
Only his second this year.
Yes, that's a fact. He had only missed one, and now he's missed two. So,
Got it.
the Falcons really need to pick up their offensive shooting, not because it's been that bad, but, well, look at this.
Well, coast to coast is what it was. Let's have a look at it.
Tremendous stuff from Derek Rucker.
Fabulous on the replay.
Well, that's what you've got to do. The Falcons haven't been playing that badly. They've just got to pick it up just to match the Tigers, who are so hot tonight. That's the only way to get back into it. Just got to rise to the occasion. Jensen again with the foul. And he goes to 3 fouls.
Mark Bradke really proving a handful down there. That was a foul that he felt he had to make desperation, even though we've got a quarter and a bit to go. Tony Jensen just had to stop Bradke. The big fellow was on the way to the hoop. Now he's on the way to the foul line. The trip for 2. And the crowd's really giving it to him. They're willing the Falcons on here, but it's to no avail because they're just handling everything the Falcons throw at them and handling it pretty easily too.
Yes, the Tigers have been quite happy with their position at the moment. 82-62 under 5 minutes left in the third quarter. And at the start of this evening's game, as you see the points going there, the Melbourne Tigers were 6-3. This will take them to 7-3. What a tremendous move. Look at that. There was all sorts of collisions down the other end as we see that bucket go in. But Simmons managed to get some points, and Derek Rucker goes all the way. And great block from Leonard Copeland. The layup had left the fingers, and Leonard still reached in and just tipped the ball away as it was rising. Tremendous stuff. I mean, and absolutely no response from the crowd again. Bit parochial. Oh, there's a push.
Andrew Gaze, he really shoved him out of the way. If this goes down, the boos will go up. It doesn't go. Can they get it? The Falcons? No. Only as far as Whitehead for 2, and Andrew Gaze just thumped him out of the way.
Well, that was pretty clear what Andrew Gaze's intention was. Get out of my way, I'm going to shoot. And, well, when you're hot, mate, everything seems to go your way, doesn't it? And there it goes again. We're polishing the pine tonight, folks. Let me tell you, at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre. Tony Jensen comes inside, and it's in.
Big basket from Tony Jensen. Very physical now. And these uncompromising Melbourne Tigers, the 5 on the floor, have played most of the game. Just a couple of substitutions in the second quarter. They played the entire first quarter, this group, and they've played right through this third quarter, and Andrew Gaze is still putting him down. There's 3.5 left. And the Falcons are down by 22 points. It's 88-66. That's a long way down.
And pretty tough ask, too, on Tony Jensen to guard Andrew Gaze. You could see him trying everything. Gaze still gets the shot away, and Tony Jensen's saying, I can't believe this. I'm trying everything. And he's getting words of encouragement from the bench. It's a pretty tough job, though, isn't it? Can't make it. Matty Alexander!
Where's the foul? There's got to be one, and it's called against Mark Bradke.
1-1. Tigers have 5 fouls. And Bradke claiming Bradke claiming that his wristband there was the problem, and that he didn't actually push him at all.
The old wristband.
Yeah.
The old wristband of the head trick.
Maybe it's made out of plaster. I don't know. It was a pretty heavy hit though.
They just needed that so desperately. Alexander, another shot at it. There's been a substitution. They've only made 3 all game, the Tigers. Oh, Ray Ford
I don't think you'll get away with that one.
is in and out. No, it was a nice try, wasn't it? Can't do that, man.
It's good for the crowd anyway, but a bit of goaltending there on the free throw. It counts. The shot, that is, 88-68.
Huge screen at the top, Mark Bradke.
And that's for 2, but it doesn't quite make it. There's pretty heavy stuff as well. Alexander on Mark Bradke.
Oh, look, you can't help but be impressed with the work Mark Bradke is doing. He is giving them all sorts of trouble.
Mark Bradke's personal ambition, believe it or not, is to shoot more 3-pointers. At least that's what he says. And he's doing enough now to let the others shoot the threes. He's doing all the work in the D.
He's going now. It looks like he's on a mission for collecting a record number of rebounds at both ends because he's doing a colossal job.
Yes, the biggest influence on Mark Bradke's career was undoubtedly the AIS. Trains about 20 hours a week, maybe more. good sporting family now, I guess you'd say. It rules their life. Derek Rucker. There's Leonard Copeland right over the top. Tony Jensen.
Little
comes inside.
Goes low. Brilliant stuff, huh?
That was good. The assist to Matty Alexander, who pays homage to Rucker's assist. Jensen's assist. Tremendous stuff. Leonard Copeland now down the other end. There's no time to rest, is there? Air ball back out. And the turnover. Derek Rucker. He has Jensen gone left. Matty Alexander right. What will they do?
4-on-1. They should score. Can't make it. 4-on-1. They really should have made more of that. The jump ball, though, that's pretty impressive stuff from Matt Alexander, isn't it? Really showed some heart, because it was all Andrew Gaze. He came in and nice and clean. We can't see it very clearly on the screen there, but
yeah,
did a terrific job and enjoyed it. But they come away with the ball, the Tigers. So all that good work downstairs comes to naught. And I just don't know what the Falcons can do to stop this scoring juggernaut. I mean, they're putting their best effort into it. I mean, you can't deny the effort here. But the Tigers have been just too good. Alexander tries to hold the baseline and fouls. 1-1.
Well, 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. I think from the Falcons' point of view, they wouldn't be that disappointed with their own performance. You couldn't say they were losing the game. They just met a very hot team, a team backing up from an NBL championship, coming off a heavy defeat last night. They didn't think halfway through their game that they'd lose last night. They have. They don't want to lose 2 on the road. They're determined to win this one, and they're up by 20.
Yes, I think what happens there, if you lose a game like that, you really learn by it, and the lesson's very fresh in your mind. They will not let this game go now.
You know, and I mean, you just don't know whether Lindsay Gaze is punishing a couple of the guys on the bench who might have taken the court last night and not performed, you know, because he hasn't really rotated them. You don't really need to either, I might add. It's 92-70. Look at the score.
He has a very young bench in his game with his very experienced guys. Derek Rucker goes in there amongst the tall timber and shows the big fellows how it should be done. Here's Andrew Gaze and Copeland. It's all class. Oh, in and out. Very unlucky, Andrew Gaze. It was the right shot and it was well executed. Dozier, yes, so they made a couple. So inroads are there now. They cut it to 18. There's the clock heading down to three-quarter time, but there's a long way back for the Newcastle Falcons.
Finds that, no, looking for the Dave Simmons alley-oop. Terry Dozier, great screen. And inside, Matty Alexander, the assist, and just
missing the lap. Second chance. Tony Jensen does a great job. He dives into the physiotherapy side, and he'll need some if he keeps doing that.
Well, that was there was cries of disgust from the Falcons bench after that attempt. It was just good lead-up work. The execution failed a little bit. Yeah, and that's the difference tonight, isn't it? I mean, the Tigers are hot shooting. The Falcons are just not making it.
No, high-pressure layups, something they practice at training, making those layups under extreme pressure. Come game night, just couldn't convert there. Oh, that was a good ball from Bradkey. Didn't quite find the mark. Oh, and Tom Wisman's gone off his trolley here. He's really getting into this. He's asking for a reversal, and he doesn't get it from Jeff Micallef nor Eddie Crouch. Let's have a look at it. He says it came off Ray Gordon.
Fish and chips. There's more going on live action. This game is just so quick tonight. It's the way we expected in the Mitsubishi Challenge. And the foul on this occasion is on Derek Rucker. And the Falcons in the huddle. Come on, guys, what are we going to do? They're saying it's 92-74. 18 points. Leonard Copeland on the line. He's got 2. Great stuff from Leonard Copeland. One of those really big game pressure players.
94-74. It's a 20-point spread to the Melbourne Tigers, the defending champions. And Newcastle doing everything they can to get back into it, like this. Oh, Matt Alexander, very strong. Fine assist from Derek Rucker, so they cut it to 18. They really need to put the stops on this and perhaps go back and get a 3. Let's see, they did just that heading into quarter time. Can they do it again now with 10 seconds left on the clock? It's counting down.
5 seconds. Leonard Copeland takes his time. There's one more to come, and that's offensive. Yeah.
So a chance to score some points here. With 3 seconds left, a 3 would be just what the doctor ordered.
Well, I wonder who'll take it. Let's see what they're going to do. Derek Rucker's going to try and bring it back real quick.
Penetration from Rucker. Penetration from Tony Jensen. He gets up well in the air. Can't make the shot.
Yeah, it did quite well. So there it is at three-quarter time. But I'm afraid, again, that quarter has gone to the Tigers. And the Newcastle Falcons have got 1 quarter to get back into this game. It'll be tough, but they can do it. 18 points up, 94-76. Back in a minute at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre. Played most of his senior career in South America, Costa Rica, Venezuela, Colombia. And here he is tonight at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre. Gets the jump too on Dozier. And the familiar side of the Tigers coming at the Falcons in offence. Whitehead. Copeland, plenty of time. No one to bother him, and he doesn't make it.
They've got some real bad news for Falcons fans. Right in the corner, Derek Rucker has gone down on a rolled ankle. He's just trying to get it going again. He's going to try and run it out. They need him. He can't afford to go down. And he doesn't. He's jumping around on it now. He looks all right, Derek Rucker. Gave everyone a fright. Because if there is any hope at all, he really has to light up, Rucker. Oh, who wants it? Terry Dozier. Matt Alexander facing up here to Bradkey. Alexander's done a good job on the boards. Does it again for them. Dozier can't make it. It's tough in there. They really are hell-bent on winning this game.
Pretty
Fabulous
strong
defense. Yeah, tough. At the other end, they're all after it. It's all Tigers, but Dozier gets in amongst the pack, and he takes it away.
Yes, genuine urgency at both ends, both boards for the Tigers.
It's awesome defense. Absolutely a wall there. The Tigers' wall goes up, and Derek Rucker simply crashed into it and paid the penalty.
Well, the Melbourne Tigers, with Whitehead for 3, it's just, well, they're starting to not make them. No one's troubled the scorer. And they've had a couple, but thankfully for the Tigers, the Falcons haven't capitalised yet. That's the plan, though. Now it's 94-78, 16-point lead.
And what a block! Oh, they've said it's a foul. Eddie Crouch carrying the wrath of the crowd. Whew. Alexander, there it was. Well, the Falcons claim a clean block on number 50. Which is a fairly rare event.
Yes, and Bradkey goes to the line once again, 94-78.
Crucial substitution now. He's done a very good job. He's played well, Tony Jensen, in singlet number 9. But the man they're looking to now to light up is Michael Johnson. The veteran, one of the leading scorers in this league, needs to get out after it now. There's a miss from Bradkey. That helps the cause. Be a miracle if they get out of it. 95-78.
So the Falcons bring it back through Derek Rucker now. And the Falcons still playing a fairly competitive game despite the score. They seem to have been dominated on the scoreboard all night, except for a very early piece of the first quarter. But they're just trying everything. It's just that the Tigers are playing so well tonight, at both ends, really. Not too many teams are going to beat them tonight. Johnson.
A little pump there. They need a couple of threes if they can get 3 out wide. But here's Andrew Gaze pushing up. Oh, he pulls up again for that jumper and makes it. What a class act, Andrew Gaze. He never ceases to amaze. He was in all sorts of trouble. Between the legs dribble to beat the defense, pulls up and knocks it down. He is something.
So Terry Dozier now, trying to inspire his troops. Grant Kruger, Johnson, Derek Rucker. Leonard Copeland's done a pretty good job on him. Dave Simmons comes away with the rebound. Leonard Copeland now. Tom Wisman, just a word of encouragement. Still hasn't given up. Copeland, Simmons. Gaze cuts through the key. Goes back to the top for Bradkey. Now Copeland, who fakes, goes baseline. And is blocking on Grant Kruger.
97-78 is the scoreline. Foul against Grant Kruger. We're 9 out from full time. And the Tigers are playing with the same intensity and the same five as we've mentioned on a number of occasions. Start of the game here. Look at that.
Stephen Whitehead, who's been with the Tigers now for, what, 5 years, since 1989, is really part of the furniture. And a number of these blokes are going to have 48 minutes next to their name. Probably the 4 guys, apart from Whitehead. Can't remember half of them sitting down. Some desperation in offensive rebounds. Just Terry Dozie just spilling it. And it goes the Tigers' way from the side. So there it is. The Tigers now at 100 with 8 minutes left. I mean, what are they shooting? 109 points a game. And tonight, with 8.5 minutes left, they're already at 100. So this is a pretty high-scoring night for the Tigers.
Simple pass and cut, give and go there, and allowed an easy passage to the basket for Copeland. And I think what you'll find that if this continues, we will see some benchmen come in and have their turn.
Yes, well, the Falcons, before tonight's game, were coughing up exactly the same number of points as they were scoring on average. And the way things are going, this one's going to dent that statistic. Terry Dozier, out to Grant Kruger. Off the glass, nicely done.
Even after Grant Kruger and the Falcons done everything right, Bradkey was still there trying to block the shot. It is so hard to score against this team tonight. 102-80. Been a tremendous performance at both ends, hasn't it?
You get the impression from watching the Tigers that they always know what they're supposed to do. I was just watching Tony Jensen there a minute ago, looking to Tom Wisman for instructions. You know, who was he supposed to man up on? You don't tend to see that sort of stuff from the Tigers. They seem to know exactly who's doing what, don't they? Yeah, some pretty heavy D. Look at this. It's been called on Bradkey there for pushing Kruger out of the way. Side ball for the Falcons. And it comes back to Jensen, who will give it into Rucker, and Copeland again pressing into Falcons territory. Though early on it was a bit of a hard time for Rucker when Copeland was really on fire, but Rucker's held the ball fairly well. Good stuff. Jump and shoot. That's all Rucker. 102-82. It's back to 20 points. Leonard Copeland goes baseline. The assist to Dave Simmons. Nicely done.
So strong.
So this capacity crowd, the biggest we've seen in the history of Falcons games, giving us one of the smallest choral chants we've heard.
Well, I can't deny they've seen some great basketball.
Boy, haven't they.
7 minutes to go still as Terry Dozier fights his way in against Dave Simmons. There's the foul you can see all over Terry Dozier. The shot didn't go down. And a timeout is called by Coach Tom Wisman of the Newcastle Falcons as his team trails 104-82. And there's 7 minutes left in the contest. And there's part of that big crowd here. Standing room, as you can see, right around the fringes.
So we'll be back in a minute. 104-82 at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre. Lindsay Gaze still giving the troops something to go on with tonight. He's not going to rest. No chance. Let's hear it.
Now hard to the corner, next time hard back from there. The second part of you come and face over, face up and look at there. Don't take it to basket unless you have a look first. And then you can operate. Be selective with your offense the next 2 minutes is absolutely critical in the way you look after the ball. Don't give them any encouragement.
So there it is. The next 2 minutes, he reckons, is absolutely critical. From the Falcons' point of view, I would have said, you know, the last two and the two before that was critical. It's under 7 minutes now. They're down by 22. Lindsay's doing the right thing. Probably he's worrying about last night, you know, getting beaten after being up by 20. But boy, the Falcons have got the job ahead of us to happen 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, I think he's just telling them there's a critical 2 minutes coming up. At 104-82. It's a big ask. Let's see what happens anyway, whether the Falcons can make some inroads in just a couple of minutes. I think they need a couple of threes here. Let's get Johnson lighting up from outside. He can't do it. There's Jensen showing some heart.
Oh, big block from Bradkey. Wonderful stuff.
Just enormous game, Bradkey. He's both ends, and he's just giving them hell. He's just all over the place, and pure intimidation that time.
There's no doubt about it. A Boomer's singlet really puts the polish on these guys, doesn't it? You know, like plenty of good players, but oh, look at that. There's a strong block, but really it was all over Gaze there. Kruger wasn't going to let him go to the bucket. Have a look at this. There's the layup, and he's nearly there, and boom. So Andrew Gaze on the line. He averages 33 points a game. He'll take that tonight and more. He's really had a strong game, hasn't he, in offense? He's been very dominant tonight.
Absolutely. Had a mighty game. Played 261. And this is just another great performance, isn't it? These guys really have played well. He's stuck with his 5. He's stuck with his class players all the way, essentially. And Whitehead really has been strong. In fact, there hasn't been a poor player on this team. And here comes Derek Rucker, who's done his best. There's one down for Mike Johnson at 106-84 with 6 minutes left.
So Whitehead now with Johnson doing the hassling. Oh, Dave Simmons and some strong D from Terry Dozier gets knocked over. And no call. So Tony Jensen comes away with it. He's going to go right to the bucket. Good move too. Well done. 106-86, 5:30 left in the contest.
Great shot. Let's have a look at it. He goes right at them and makes the 2. Tony Jensen does well.
So Dave Simmons now off to Whitehead and finds Copeland inside for 2. Well, they've just been doing that all night. That was a sort of low pressure shot really, and he took his time and made it. And 108-86, and still 5 minutes left in it. And they won't slow down.
But the 4th substitution from the Tigers now, and Giddy's into the game, and Whitehead takes a break. Still Gaze and Bradkey have played the entire contest. And I think Simmons may have been out there. There's one from out in the car park.
And Terry Dozier tries it now. And the Falcons' story of the night really just haven't been able to execute an offense. Some nights it works, some nights it doesn't. And Mark Bradkey just trying to tap in, but it all happened before that. Bernard Copeland fouled. Terry Dozier's still down. I don't think he's hurt too badly. He's just thinking to himself, I wonder if I stay here a little longer, will the game be over by the time I get up?
Terrific shot that time from Bernard Copeland. Didn't drop for him. There's that man Bradkey again going up after it. Terry Dozier, who's had his share of back problems, gets up very gingerly. He's had back, hammy and knee problems in recent seasons. He could have had all 3 on the end of that, couldn't he? But he gets up okay, Terry Dozier.
He takes some punishment, no doubt about it, but he's okay. He'll catch his breath. Eddie Crouch just saying, "Are you all right, mate?" Yep, no worries. He's okay. So the Tigers are starting 4 plus Giddy, who has been with the Tigers 5 years, and 2 years with the Illawarra Hawks too, is on there in number 6. Copeland makes that one. 109-86. He's got one to come.
Yeah, Giddy is a very good footballer.
Yes.
Right at schoolboys, I think.
A lot of time at the AIS. So he's been around sport for a long, long time, really honed his skills well, and is basically having trouble getting a run with the Tigers. And when they do this sort of thing and keep the same 5 on all night, it's pretty hard, isn't it? Apparently, referees saying that Tony Jensen put his foot over the line. So 4.5 minutes now left in the contest. Just getting away from the Falcons now. 110-86. And there's Andrew Gaze. No one with him. The fake. He stepped one way. Jensen went with him. Gaze back and under the bucket. So Derek Rucker bringing it back now. 4:20. Mike Johnson for 3. And it's finally starting to work. A bit of damage control now from the Falcons, I guess you'd say. Just trying to make this score a little bit more respectable. 112-89. They've coughed up more points tonight than they're used to this year. And they haven't scored as many as they normally do. So just it's not working for the Falcons tonight, but they've been very gallant. You wouldn't say they've played badly, though. Derek Rucker tries the finger roll, did everything to get there from coast to coast.
And who was there making it tough? Bradkey.
Bradkey.
But he's only walking up into offense. But why would he run when Andrew Gaze is taking it to the hole? 38 points for Andrew Gaze. He's headed for another 40-point performance, and they're still playing it right to the end. Look how hard it is. He gets it down, Terry Dozier. These guys are going right to the finish. And here comes Anstey. Here's a change. The benchman comes in.
Well, this is very unusual in tonight's performance anyway, to have someone like Anstey, but you've got to understand with 3 minutes left in the game, I suppose Lindsay Gaze really wants to get his guys to run around. And there's Terry Dozier, takes the 1 point.
Interesting, Anstey. He's the young fellow who played local D grade at Keilor at the age of 17. So
he took up the game late, didn't he?
Oh, very much so.
You had a look at the size of the bloke. Look at him. Well, in a minute, you'll see him next to Terry Dozier there at the top. And he's got a couple of inches on Terry Dozier in height. It's tremendous. There he goes. Couldn't quite make it.
Now, they lose a bit, don't they, when they take Bradkey off and put him on. But he'll be right, the young man. There's a flying bucket for the Falcons. But Mark Bradkey has taken a break, and what a sensational display by the Big Boomers centre. As Rucker takes it away from them. He shows boys, and up it goes, and it's in. It's 114 points to 96. And it's still a big lead for the Tigers. There's not much defence here for the Falcons. They're just chasing everything now at full court. There's the clock.
There's 2:30 left, and Terry Dozier this time has fouled Anstey. And that's the 15th foul for the Falcons. So we've got a bit of one-on-one happening here in a minute, I think. But I think there'll be a timeout for the Falcons. Tom Wisman just wanting to pull this score back a little bit. It's back to, 18 now. So timeout here at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre. We've still only got, 2:35 left in the game.
Well, Tom Wisman, I don't know that I would call that particular timeout, because they seem to be getting on a bit of a roll there. They were doing everything right, but I guess once the foul shot came, takes the emotion out. Now we can give the instructions for the last couple of minutes. Let's see what they are.
Oh, right away. Oh, no. Go for the steal. Yeah, go for the steal. Go for the steal, but if we need to foul, he's obviously the one to foul, okay? And we need to foul right now, but go for the steal first and then foul, okay? So, fouling or let him force a shot, give him the opportunity to make a mistake and then foul him, okay? Give him a couple seconds. Now, we got to get full court, absolute kamikaze. We got to be up there switching everything, okay? Even on Andrew, jump switching everything, okay? Jump switching everything. Mike, how many fouls you have?
Just one.
You take the big guy. Back. And Mark, you get up and get him and get involved in the press stuff, jump switch and everything. Okay?
All right, so the jump switch, whenever they crisscross, he wants the players in defence to change men and jump in front of the guy who's taking the ball. So we'll see whether they can try and force some turnovers within a second or two of the ball getting in. And after that, it's foul time, and they're going to try and stretch the game out.
And so, really, I guess Marty McLean and Mike Johnson on there, because they've got one foul each, and I think we'll see them doing most of the fouling. They're not really worried about their fouling record, as Anstey puts that one in too to get on the scoreboard tonight.
Well, Anstey learned something in his junior days at Keilor. Only been playing the game 2 years, but one thing he's learned is a foul shot, and Andrew and Lindsay Gaze will be pleased with that. Andrew not quite that experienced.
Derek Rucker takes the jumper now, can't make it. And, gee, there's some pretty heavy work going in there, too, from Marty McLean. That's fantastic. Oh, a pretty heavy knock from Andrew Gaze. Doesn't worry Tony Jensen, though. Inside round the back, and we finally got some fouls. Gee, it's a fast and furious game we're watching, isn't it?
How about these Tigers? Yes. They are all over the place, still keeping the pressure on. Just keeping that boot well and truly down on the Falcons. They need the three. They look to Johnson. And no. Can't make it. Here goes the full court pressure now. They'll be all over them, and here comes the foul. Get set for this one. It's got not on Andrew Gaze. It's the call from Tom Wisman. Foul Andrew, and he's tackled, and he's down. And he's hurt too. He looked to be shaken there. He's taken out at half court. He was flying. Falcons came in and met him. The call was for the foul. He looked to be injured for just a moment. Let's have another look at that. You can see the action is red hot. There's Derek Rucker coming across. And into the fray there.
Yes, it's very heavy indeed on Andrew Gaze.
Terry Dozier, I think. Although it was all a bit of a blur on replay. And I managed to pick up singlet number 35.
Yes, it was he, and really, I guess the Falcons lucky the Tigers are only doing 1 and 1. Could have been so easily called an intentional, I guess.
Andrew just steps up and makes it. This will give him 40 points for the game, or 42. It's a 40-point game for Andrew Gaze at 118.96. Oh.
Well, Marty McLean has done the job at the end twice now. He's come up with the big rebound, and now he's come up with the foul, and we knew he was going to foul because that's only his second of the night. They're slowing the game down. 1:57 now, less than 2 minutes left in the game. 118.99. 19-point game.
Andrew Walter goes to the line now, so some of these benchmen getting into it. Nick Tenner's out there, Anstey and Walter to finish it off for the Tigers. With 2 minutes left. There's the big fellow. So valuable experience for these three guys who really have been very patient on the bench waiting their turn. Andrew Gaze is still out there with Giddy, but the big guns, the Copelands, the Simmons, the Bradkeys are all having a break, and what a well-deserved rest it is. Marty McLean hits one for 3. It's 120-102 foul on Derek Rucker. We'll put Walter on the line.
And Walter was the guy who won the MVP in the World Youth Basketball Festival last year. And he's a tremendous player, a lot of potential. They're just keeping him in socks, I suppose. They're giving him the chance to find his mark in the NBL, and he's joined a strong side. It's going to be hard to find a permanent place in the Tigers starting 5, but they certainly recruit well too, don't they, the Tigers?
Certainly, this sort of stuff's very valuable for them too, because when you're playing 7 guys, you get into foul trouble. These fellows will have to step up at some time in this season if they're to win it. Let's see, it goes only as far as Derek Rucker, who comes back. Dozier, low, Johnson inside. Nice, clever play, and Tony Jensen makes 2.
So there it is with the Falcons in the run home now. 1 minute 20 left in the game.
And Andrew Gaze sits. 42 points for the great Andrew Gaze as he steers his team to yet another victory. He'll take a break. And the entire 5, those 5 we mentioned right through the evening, who've done such a great job, particularly I felt Gaze and Bradkey, the spearheads of this victory, are all sitting down relaxing. And the young Turks from the Tiger camp are out there now having their crack at it.
Yes, it's been a tremendous performance by Andrew Gaze. And Walter again making the basket. And pretty good from the line. There's no doubt that when the fouls are on, he'll be carrying the ball.
And the Falcons bench looks pretty depressed right now.
Yes, it's a matter of by how much, I think, now, isn't it? Terry Dozier for 3. Tremendous stuff. 1:10 left in the game. And it's 124-107. So even the Falcons now out shooting their year's average.
Rucker goes down, gets up, only as far as Gordon. Tries to attack. Terry Dozier was looking for the 3. Still desperate, aren't they? Marty McLean comes round the top, but that didn't really look like going down, and they get the ball back, and the crowd's still into it. The crowd's backing their team all the way home. A record crowd here at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre. They will go home a little bit disappointed, but they can go home feeling satisfied that they have seen a class team playing very, very well in the Melbourne Tigers.
And so now, Nick Tenner will go to the line. 1-on-1, Marty McLean. Picked up another foul, that's his 3rd. So everybody in the final minutes of this game, and indeed the final seconds, because we only have, 42 seconds or something left in the game. And Tenner now getting his chance. Tom Wisman, a little bit disgruntled, I suppose. But I guess with 40 seconds left, resigned to defeat, down by 18 points.
Well, the Melbourne Tigers have done it very nicely. Whether they go quite as deep as they ought to defend the title is problematical. But while Bradkey and Gaze are in form and they get great support from people like Simmons, then they're going to be hard to beat.
We'll just have a look at this. This could be for 3. Indeed it is. Terry Dozier from way downtown taking the shot and the heavy foul.
He's really jacking it up from anywhere, Terry.
Yes, and look at this. 3 free throws in a row now for Terry Dozier, who's pretty good from the line. 125-107 with 30 seconds left in the game.
I'll try and make this scoreline respectable. Down to around the 15 mark. It really looked like blowing out there at one stage, didn't it? But they stuck to the task pretty well, Newcastle.
I didn't feel like Newcastle's played all that badly. At times, their offensive execution has let their coach down, but really, I think the Tigers have just played very well. Great team. It looks like they're really determined to defend this title and really give it a good shake this year.
It's a long ball to Anstey. It was a great ball. Oh, just leans over. Mike Johnson just had him for height everywhere. He sticks it down easy too for tenner. 127-110. The run right home now, and the Tigers will split their road trip. After losing to the Gold Coast, they're all up, and they know how well they've played. Those two men have had an absolute blinder. Reaches in, Rucker gets it back. Goes low, but only as far as Mike Johnson and out. And the referee, Jeff Micallef, gives the ball back.
With 10 seconds left, the Falcons only down by 17 now, so respectability is the name of the game. Jensen trying 3, and Marty McLean comes away with it. The fadeaway jumper doesn't work either, so perhaps the last shot, no, too late. It's all over. No, it's not. We've got 0.4 left on the clock, I beg your pardon.
Just long enough for Nick Tenner to have a couple of shots. And he's all smiles because this will add to his NBL stat.
Well, it's only mathematical now, I guess, isn't it? You know, I mean, everyone's just going to sit down. There'll be no contesting this. 0.4 seconds. There won't even be time to take the shot.
Well, a really magnificent performance from the Melbourne Tigers. The length of the court, the big 100-footer goes up, but that was a marvellous performance, and won't he be pleased? They really have bounced back from a disappointing defeat last night where they blew a 20-point lead against the Gold Coast, and Lindsay Gaze has steered his Melbourne Tigers to a mighty victory, 127-110. Andrew Gaze, well, clearly the MVP, 42 points. He was great in offense and defence, and has a chat to Paul Kuiper.
Well, there it is after the Tigers defeated the Falcons right on the buzzer, I guess, by 4 points earlier in the season. Tonight, no contest, really. The Falcons just met a really hot side, and it was 17 points. And those stats, really, they'll revolve around Bradley and Gaze. We'll have a look at those in a minute here at the Newcastle Entertainment Centre. You stay with us.